Welcome back to Motorsport Manager, everybody. Finale of the 2017 season here. Second year of our Create Your Own Team career. And we are looking like we're pretty much stuck in 10th. We could potentially move up a spot. No way we're going to fall below Casey or Zango. We could potentially move up a spot behind Campos if things go really well for us. But it looks like that's where we're going to be. Driver-wise, 15th and 16th. And yeah, I mean, slight chance of Pankowitz dropping or of Hughes getting up past Berman, but nothing significant. So all that's pretty much locked in place. We just want to finish up preparations, continuing to improve for next year. That's really all we got here. Another 12 hours. Sky says hello. Friends' agent, interested in signing his client up for next year. Interesting, and we may look into it one day. So that boosted their morale. And we were a little bit off on the pit crew, and we had the one mistake. Tyrone Reedy was responsible. And then I think we got another scout in. Yeah. Pepe Oriola, one of the weaker drivers in this particular competition. 3 stars, solid all the way around, not spectacular. Average marketability. So I don't think I want to do anything with that just yet. Let me just make sure that, yeah, we're still good over here. Let's pop into our pit crew. Do we have anybody new and exciting? Not you. Not you. Not you, and not you. Do we want a 12 on the tires or the front jack? We've got 12 and 13. So if they have better stamina, that might work. And then on the tires, we definitely want a 12 on the tires. Okay, so yeah, 88. Let's definitely... You got about the same stamina as Harami. I don't see any reason to bring you in. But Defante? Oh, whoa, whoa, almost hit the reject button there. We don't want that. So yeah, we haven't been able to hire many people lately, but there's an addition. And Salazar, let's get you back out on that front jack. Now we've got Galliano, the backup. Gelnavach, still going to keep you out there. And Reedy's screw up, yeah, you're definitely going to get out. Who's got the best... Looks like Defont, our new acquisition, is going to be the best there. And we're also going to want to get out Courtright as our best tire person, but everybody gets tired eventually. And Grousis, our person to go out. 1103, I think that's a hair lower, the best I've seen it. Yeah, same stamina, but you're looking better, so we'll get Puskrich out there. Look at that, just under 11 seconds. Duval's at 12 and 72, and we don't have anybody to replace that with. Okay. So which one of these 11s basically do we want to get rid of? And they all have pretty solid stamina. None of them are useful anywhere else. Are Ortlip and Lissick, one of those two. Which one has... Is there a difference? 8,000. And we're paying you 10,000. Because of you've got the better refuel and fixing, which we don't care about right now. Okay, so we're going to fire you. There we go. And then nobody who's going out there this time has made a mistake. We've got Harami, Courtright, and Reedy who have done the screw-ups. Onward, onward, onward. Q, we've got 12 weeks on our brakes R&D, so nothing's going to happen there anytime soon. Let's see what we want to keep going on for Sydney. Finish up those brakes and get these done and then start shipping more parts in. But not until those are finished. Okay. Let's proceed forward. Now we're most of the way there under the performance, and yeah, it looks probably going to wrap them all up right about that same time. And everything with a point, within a point or two. The suspension 2 points away, and brakes are up to 70, so they're close to the borderline department. Should be able to get them to maybe about 80 by the time the race hits, something like that. Yep, went just a tad further there than I wanted to. Yep, we're 10th and you wanted 12th. For the brakes, it'd be nice to get this one out there. The engines are both good. The gearboxes we can't improve. Be nice to get that spoiler up. And this suspension would be nice. But the problem is, we might have a chance of getting one of those done. Which do we want? And I think clearly it's got to be the brakes. We're still third in speed, but fading there. But yeah, I think the brakes are the one, because we're the furthest behind on those. So let's bring those up. Pull these out, at least for now. 14 days after the race. That's still not going to get it all the way there. It'll get it most of the way there. So yeah, that's it. And of course our sponsors, still a couple races left at least. Team marketability is up to 28%. It's bounced back from a couple hitches, and that's one of our long-term indicators to look at. Okay. All right, and we've got Sydney, 32 laps. Going to be a long track. They're expecting rain, but we're not. Crucial parts are all spec, that being the gearbox, only one we have. Super soft and soft for tire wear. And Jake Hughes is like, you know, we need a new lead designer. Maybe eventually, but not yet. Our car is improving. The other thing is, I think she's still got another year, doesn't she? Because when I hired her, the suspension was not a thing. The gearbox is actually one of her stronger things. We're mostly looking at the engine, brakes, and spoiler. So the suspension's a little bit below average. But, I mean, we can't complain about the suspension when we got the best one on the grid. So I think she's a good designer for us right now. I don't want to replace her at all. They might have better overall people, but we're still doing fine with it. Aurelian Panis, predicted to finish 4th. He's offended by something we said, so he's considering offers, but not from us until at least fairly late next year. Sydney Preview, De Silvestro, the driver to beat, no shock there. Decker wants to close the gap, not going to happen, and Hamola is upset at the way things are going at Canal Plus. Mikkel Jensen, not expected to finish anywhere in the standings. Average marketability, average overall, fairly young driver, reserved for Campos Racing, and I don't see any reason why we would want him. So we can just leave that alone. Up to 79%. That's just a tad on the low side. I still think I want to put it out there, though. Like, let's take a look at those brakes comparisons. So we can stick with a 183 or go up to a 215 that's slightly more there. And if we look here, it's not a crucial part. We should be able to definitely get away with that. So that's just going to be a straight upgrade for Hughes. And they both think that they're okay. That's going to upgrade Hughes to 21st in the predictions. So I think we just get to Sydney. There really wasn't a whole lot to do there. Our pit crew is very stable, and we are set with all of our parts. So just not as much to have happen. Okay, 13 degrees. May want to go with super softs in this one. 32 laps. We'll have to see how all that works out. So far, no sign of rain. So we'll see who's right on that, but doubt we're going to get any. All right. So we'll go with the feedback here, even though Hughes not exactly looking like he's going to burn up the track. No sign of anything weird today. let's see what our tire situation is going to be. We're going to get through 32 laps. So we'll have to come in twice if we don't use the softs. I'm thinking a super soft at the start and a soft to finish maybe. I'd like to be on the same tires, but it's, boy, it's tight. I still like going with super softs though. Better qualifying, and then we'd still probably start on those, most important part of the race, then go to softs later. Only one of the drivers is going to use that bonus for the race anyway. I'm going to go with super softs, and we're almost certainly only going to get level 1 trim, so we're not going to have a lot of bonus from that anyway. Whoops, that's wrong. Okay, let's get about there. Use this to switch our acceleration. There we go. And switching to the supers there as well. A little bit more low speed, a little bit more understeer this time. Let's definitely pull this down. Try that out. On to practice. Both of them have to switch around to race trim, but Hugh's actually looking pretty good, whereas Kari's the behind the pace driver for our beginning here, so just shows that you never know what's really going to happen. Hughes was predicted at 1 and Kari solid beforehand. Looks like we've got a bit of a majority on supers, which makes sense. They had 18 degrees. I think they predicted 13 for the race. See, even at 18, the temp is not rising. So I think we're probably looking at getting as much as we can out of the tires because we're going to really hit the supers hard. Okay, Hughes wants stiffer handling. We'll go around a little bit more, but we may just start coming in early and making some changes since we're not going to get to level 2 almost certainly anyway. I'm just going to make sure that we don't have a shot at it. And yeah, we don't. Probably can get like closer to level 2 than level 1, but that's not going to happen. So I didn't even pay attention to that last thing they said, unfortunately. I'm just going to come in and make whatever adjustments, then move on. Kari will be slightly in first. 71%, not the best showing here at first. Let's lower that down. That was closer. Let's just try the oversteer side. Pour here. Everybody was talking the acceleration direction, but I'm going to try that. And we can always bring it back if we need to, which we almost certainly will. And here's Hughes. Hughes liked the speed balance, 76%. Yeah, and it was more up this way. Okay. So let's try, well, let's again try to bring this down. somewhere in there. Handling. Let's let that go to the oversteer, and of course we're going to go up just a bit more there. And that's worth a shot. I think at this point I just want to do, even though it's fairly early, I'm just going to do start and stops until we get it locked in, and then see what kind of times we can run later. Speed this up a bit, get through the lap. Both drivers like the way the cornering went, so that's a good positive. Okay, speed balance is atrocious, says Kari, so we definitely need to adjust that, but once we get that in place, everything else should be pretty good. So you said originally poor, and okay, so we definitely do want to go on the acceleration end of things. Down there or something. Maybe a bit more oversteer. But first let's correct this. Okay, put it all the way down. Yeah, let's just try that right there. And Hughes even better, up to over 90%. Likes the cornering. The handling is better. Speed balance not quite there. Okay, so we were in okay. Again, a little bit more oversteer, I think. And we actually need to go back on the acceleration. Well, I'm going to leave this as is. It's probably not quite enough acceleration, but if I get these two locked in, then I'll know a better idea what to do with that. Let's just go with this. Get back out there. And get around the track one more time. Of course, we can see well over 2 minutes for the times, and that does mean that we're not going to have a lot of leeway tomorrow to get this ready for qualifying. Best if we get that nailed here, which is exactly what we're working on doing. Should be able to have another start and stop after this. Hughes loving the cornering now. Oh my goodness, I didn't... Oh, fail. I didn't bring him in. So this will be the last adjustments for today. I just got to hope they get them in soon enough to get back out and get a reading on where we are. And of course, we're going to be at the bottom of the pack because we're not going to actually set any times for practice. But I really don't care about that. See more in qualifying what our real pace is in any case. Says the gear ratios are just right. Handling is the only thing that's out. 95%. Obviously a huge jump from 74. Surprised we're able to nail this right on the button. Okay, so we had good, and then great, and then good. So we need to bring back the handling to about there. Can't do any strange stuff that way. So if we go one further, yeah, boy, great. I just need to get it a little bit lower than that right there, probably. So even that, slightly more than that could be good enough. Nope, if I go there, and then there, that might be close enough. Let's see what that does. We're going to be really close if we're not there. Upper 90s. And there's Hughes driving at 9. And he's not quite there yet either. 93%. I was hoping for better. Was trying to get that handling locked in. We were okay. Great. Okay, so we need to go back down on the handling again here. Great. Good. Great. So a little bit lower acceleration. But I don't know how to get more acceleration out of it while still doing this. I'm going to give that a try. It's going to be closer. So both of them giving us a little bit of trouble and locking it in for good. Not trouble to get in the mid-90s, but to actually perfect it, get it into that 97, 98 range, that's proven a little bit rougher. Both drivers with strong form at the moment at least. Hopefully Hughes will carry that over. Both like the improvement on the handling. Close, just need to get the cornering back. Okay, so now we're really good. We got Hughes and the other car is really close. May adjust it slightly with Pankowitz getting out in the car anyway. So we got Panis at the top, then Decker, Frins, Huff. Where is our champion? De Silvestro all the way down in 19th, which is of course better than us. We really don't have any idea what our pace is yet. So Panis feeling confident. Decker disappointed not to be first. And then we have a gushing fan here who apparently doesn't care that we didn't finish a lap. Oh my. That's an awful lot coming down for partly cloudy. So it's going to be wet at first, and then it's going to dry out, and then it's going to rain again. Okay, so if we're going to... You see there's that gap in there. We want to be starting like just after 6 minutes, I feel. We want to be maybe right about 6 minutes or a little after we want to be starting our lap, which doesn't give us time for a start and stop. Okay, we've got super softs. You can see that we lost that sweetest spot deal with the whole mechanic thing going on with her burnt out ability. Okay. So let's see, 98%. It's still very good. Poor. Excellent. Okay, so that's where we want to be. That's where we are. We need to get just that tiny bit and see if these hold up. We're going to go with that once it is time. And actually, to have any chance of running a good time there, I think we really have to get them both out right away. It's going to be hard to manage. See, the thing is, we've got to get out there as quick as possible to hit that window. And then, since it's going to start raining later, we don't have any confidence that we're going to have a good spot there afterwards. But there's going to be another break in the weather. Okay, so we're going to have to try to cram them both in there as well as we can and just try to manage the tires. And I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to give it a shot. And we're going to go on super softs, because while it's going to be wet at first, it's only going to be wet for a warm-up lap. And then we'll change this. Okay. Pankowitz, Hughes. Both of you go out. I really don't like having them this close. If I've tried this at all before, I haven't tried it any time recently. But with the weather as tight as it is, I just don't see much of an option. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this. There we go. I'm just trying to stagger how the tires heat up. Cool down, come on, cool down. Okay, we're pretty good on Pankowitz, I think. Cool down. Oh, no, get up. I think we got it. Whew. Okay, let's see what we have. Pankowitz first. And you can see yeah, it's going to get really wet later, so we are... Boy, it's going to be wet by the end of this. The question is, do we get enough extra speed on them during this first part? Because there's almost no water. There's going to be almost no water for most of the track, but... now it's starting to come back. Boy, we're not even halfway around yet. I don't know about this. Like, we set really good time, especially Pankowitz, for that first sector. But now, this second half, we're going to start losing it. I just don't know. And we're not going to have enough time to give it another shot either. Well, Pankowitz did have the best time for the first 2 sectors. Maybe that'll be enough. So this is one of those really tough ones where we just had to make a call. I made it, but... Okay, we're second behind Panis. Hughes is 4th. And I'd say it's not looking good. Go and speed through the rest of this a bit. Watch the rest of the times come in, but yeah, we guessed and we guessed wrong. It's a good thing this isn't a race that matters that much, but we just lost 290K on that gamble. Oh yeah, not by much either. Looks like Pankowitz can be right on 15th. Here comes Nagyan's going to have a horrible time. 13 seconds on a soak track. And the bottom line is I thought there was enough time to squeeze in there, and there just wasn't quite enough. 15th and 20th. Not the back of the field, but close to it. Going to have a lot of work to do tomorrow on race day. And Panis once again at the top, both practice and qualifying. So yeah, it's the first time we missed our qualifying goal in quite a while. And look at the gap. 1/1000th of a second behind Berman. That is annoying. Never seen anyone worse than Simone De Silvestro, the dominant leader of the tour. You've never seen anyone worse, really. We have a crazy awesome driver lineup this season. I am amazed about... No. Thank you for being a fan, but no. Now, usually you don't want to start on super softs from the back of the field. But in this case, that's what I'm going to do. And there's no sign of rain for at least the first half of the race. They're the right tires for this temperature. First half of the race matters more than the rest. So that's what we're going with. Of course, the faster tire changes and race trim as always for Jake Hughes. And we didn't get there with... How is that not... Okay. We were here. And that's excellent. So it actually went a little bit too far that way. So we just need the slightest hair. Not that way. That could throw this one off. So you know what? I'm just going to stick with this. The 98% with that out. It's 98%. It's not horrible. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to go with those tires. And, yep, you're doing super softs as well. Very good. I think we want to really go aggressive with these low temperature and these tires for those first couple laps. Our standard high on the engine for the first 2 laps. Panis, Richard, Georgi, Fabrizio Giovanardi all looking strong up at the front, even Bonani. We're back in row 8 with Pankowitz looking okay. And Hughes again in 20th looking okay. If they deliver okay, it'll be a lot better than what we had the last race. So Pankowitz, what do you got for us in the final race? Good start is what you've got. Up to 14th, Hughes in 19th. We're trying to make a push here among the soft tires at the back of the field. Some of the other cars going with stupors at the back though as well. Pankowitz sliding around and not really getting very far, and same with Hughes. So it's the good old stuck in traffic, picking the wrong line half the time deal. And yeah, the tires are heating up pretty quickly. Let's go back to push. Is it warmer than I thought? No, it's 13. They just heating up fast. So 15th and 20th, just as we started. And we'll have to back off on the tires fairly quickly here. Both drivers staying there. Solid is Pankowitz, dipping just below. Hughes driving a little bit better, but not having anything to show for it just yet. Yeah, and it's warm, so we're going to go back to neutral. Even if they overheat some, we'll stick with neutral, but it's going to be a little bit rough here. Hughes in 20th still, looking to trying to make a pass on, I believe that's Shedden. Gets around for a bit. Looks like he's got the spot. Pankowitz really stuck between cars. That's John Philippi just ahead. Nice move to the inside. Gets her up to not just 14th, but 13th. Let's go push for just a bit more, as neutral is dropping the tire temperature down. So we're going to be wanting to alternate between neutral and push on the tires. With this particular strategy, one stop, super softs and softs, till I'm proven otherwise, I just want to push the tires as high as I can, get as much out of them as possible. And our usual almost 4/10 behind in fuel after 2 laps. So Hughes still in 20th, but Pankowitz gradually fading a bit on the form, which I don't like, but is in 13th. So right now we have the sponsor position by a whole second. Hughes up to 18th, getting by Nagy and De Silvestro. We'll see if he holds that at all. Looking to make a move here on John Philippi, who's been fading. Pankowitz not the only car to get by there. And Hughes' form gradually improving, so he may be able to make his way up the field, and may not. There we go. And I do want to keep the cars out of the red zone on the tires. Just try to make sure we don't, because it's one thing to push the tires, it's another thing to go crazy with it. It looks like it's going to be fairly even. Usually with the tires you're closer to one temperature than the other, but fairly even between neutral and pushing. So far we have moved up 2 spots with each driver. And it's looking fairly stable at the moment. Hughes packed together a little bit more closely than is Pankowitz. But she's supposed to be the worst in the field, and he's supposed to be 21st. So at the very least, we are still holding above what we were predicted to do. See, Philippi almost a second behind. It seems to be fading a bit behind Nagy, and yet we can't get by. And of course, with the soft tire cars, you want to make the move sooner rather than later, because our tires are going to fade quicker than theirs. If Hughes doesn't get it here, he may not get it. It doesn't look like he's making up. Doesn't look like he's fast enough right now, to be honest. Up to 6.6. Pankowitz back up to 5. Trying to hold off. Who is that behind her? Tarquini. Tarquini definitely pressing hard at the moment. Right now, we just seem to be locked in our positions. The fuel not looking like it's going to be about even for the race. Wait a little bit longer to see exactly how that shakes out, but definitely not feeling confident in burning any more there. Nope, you've just got to get the racing done, buddy. You've just got to race better or get a little bit more out of the car. You are gradually racing better, up to 6.7. Philippi has actually closed up a little bit on Nagy, so it's not nearly the gap. You can see a gap opening up between Frins and Katzberg up there. Up at front, it's still very close. Georgi in first. That'd be a surprise. Where is Georgi on that? Yeah, Net Georgi currently would move up to 14th if actually won. And then it's just DuPont and Panis, there's a bit of a gap, but even at the very front of the track, we've got some competition and some tight battles. Pankowitz up to 6.0. Hughes has dropped some, but still solid at 5.1. See if we can make a move on Martin here. Got right up behind him, but couldn't get alongside. We don't have much left. That was probably the last turn. Yeah, I'm going to have to back off to neutral again. So we've been able to hold our positions, but not do much else. Less than a 3-second gap, despite 4 cars in the middle, between Pankowitz and Hughes. Hughes continuing to decline now, and Pankowitz continuing to improve. So the momentum has switched in that direction. And because of how often I need to switch the tires back and forth, I think I'm just going to stay steady with this speed. Probably until at least we make our first pit stop. Pankowitz appearing to be chomping at the bit here to get by Martin. And boy, right up behind I don't have the tires to really go further for it just yet. If we're still tight coming into the next lap, I'm definitely going to do it. We're definitely going to switch back up to pushing for a bit. Question is, when do I want to? I don't think the winding course is the best time to do it. I think like going into that last turn, maybe. And now Katzberg trying to get by Martin. They're the two of them. They're right by each other. It's been a lot longer than that. I think this is a good spot for it. We're going to push. Hughes will do that as well. See if that does him any good with Philippi. And here comes Pankowitz inside of the turn. Up to 12th. There's almost a 3-second gap if we get by Katzberg. So there could be some serious time improvement here if we could get that done. Trying to duck down the inside here. I think we might have it. Big time pass there for Victoria Pankowitz. And now we'll have to go to neutral and see if we can hold it. Meanwhile, Hughes did nothing. Stayed right between Philippi and Morbidelli. I don't even know if Pankowitz is going to close up the gap at all, but just having, whenever you've got that free run ahead of you of open space where you can drive at your own pace, you don't have to worry about a slower car, it's really helpful. But it does appear that she is gaining some ground on Friends. See if that is a consistent thing or just a for the moment thing. And it looks like our fuel is going to be a little bit of a problem. We're going to run out later. So we'll have to back off later in the race. And Pankowitz not totally able to pull away here or really gain any solid ground now on Friends. It's back to right where it was at this point at the end of the last lap, or during the last lap. We're going to go push for a bit longer here. That might get us some gain, but at the neutral state, at best we're roughly holding our own there. Hughes still back in 18th. The gap between them has grown to over 4.5 seconds. Of course, I still can't pit them on the same lap. So Hughes will need to come in first. And Pankowitz, frankly, not even getting that much done during a lap of pushing. Her form has dropped down, though, and Hughes's has bounced back up. So the constant yo-yo of that continues, but after the disappointing showing in Cape Town, they're at least putting forth a solid effort here in the finale, which we appreciate. It's nice that they decided not to mail it in, but to really go for a good race here. And Pankowitz, not at all out of the question that she could pick up some points. Still going to finish behind Hughes on the year. Still certainly going to finish in 16th, I would think. Oh my, look at KC Motor Group. We would actually drop to 11th. That would be miserable. And yeah, down to 16th and 18th. We'll see if they manage to hold that, but one of the worst teams all year, KC Motor Group, having a stunning, frankly, finale here in Sydney early on. We're only a third of the way through the race, but okay, so Hughes is going to push for the rest of this lap and then pit. I'm going to wait on Pankowitz for one more. She's going to be a little bit into the red, I think. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and stay on neutral the whole rest of the way with her. That is, until she gets around one more time to pit. That way, she's still going to have to drive into the red a bit, which is a miscalculation on my part, but it won't be by that much. And staying right about 3 seconds behind and just ahead of the cars in back. Briefly going up to 8th. We will make the stop now. Switch over to softs. Time 6.445. If I'm not mistaken, that is a record. At least at first, we're going to want to go ahead and push. Hughes up to 7.6. And he is dead last in the field, a few seconds behind Oriola. Pankowitz now down to 22%. And still half a lap to go. So yeah, definitely a mistake, but I don't think it's going to cost us that much. We are fading a bit compared to the ones up in front. Some of them have made an even bigger mistake in that area. And then, of course, there's going to be some cars on soft surging to the front. There's going to be some more pit stops by others coming here. The chaos of the mid-race stops definitely coming into play. And under 12 seconds. So no real mistakes here. And Pankowitz dropping all the way down to 24th behind Hughes. That's a bit of a surprise, although it probably shouldn't be given the difference in their pit times. So you don't go any further back than 23rd and 24th. It's been a while since been riding in these spots. Pankowitz looking good. Hughes looking excellent right now. He's not even catching Oriola at the moment. And we'll go neutral here. We're going to sync up our two drivers' times. And I also want to get a feel for the tire wear. 21st and 22nd. And then 92 and 96% there. It is not going to rain today. It's going to be clear, and it's going to get faster. And Tarquini gradually catching up. Hughes, though, starting to make some ground on that. Well, that's now Benani. Maybe not. Oriola's ahead there. Yeah, no, we're losing ground still there. So at neutral, we appear to be dropping just under 4% tires a lap. Let's go ahead and push for a bit here. But on second thought, I'm going to reverse that. Because it looks like we're going to need to have as much tire as we can get to finish this on these. We're going to make it, but we're going to need to be cautious with it. Well, no, let's go ahead and push. We can afford to push up to the max right now. But then we're going to need to go neutral for a while and drop it back down. And then also potentially save some fuel later on. So this is going to get a little rough. I'm going to speed it up here. But I think it's going to be a little bit rough in terms of trying to get some speed out of these cars with the fuel and tire management that we're going to have to do towards the end of the race. Pankowitz holding off, who is that, Tarquini still? For the moment. Right now 20th and 21st. Until some of these other cars that started the race on softs come in, and that's going to be the key point. I want to go as fast as we can up until then and see how much room we can gain. And race leader Annette Georgi finally says, you know what, I'm going to come back in. Really extended those super soft tires and then is going to go back out in what is effectively second place. So we're going to bounce up into the teens. Just the question is only how high. And Pankowitz really struggling to hold on. And may not here. Yep, lost it to Tarquini. That's not really a big surprise. But it would have been nice to keep it. I am going to need to push more with the tires later. The only question is, when do I want to do that? And I don't think I want to do it right now with either of the drivers. I just want to cool them off. Wait for that opportunity. Alright, we're up to 18th and 20th now as Chadwick and Bonani come in. So at the moment, Hughes still almost 9 seconds off the sponsor spot. That's quite a bit. But we have 8 more cars that need to come in, and we should pass at least a few of them. And alright, I think I've waited long enough. Gonna sort of change my mind here and push again. Now I think once these tires max up, I want to try to go neutral the rest of the way and really drop that tire temp as far as I can to make them last. Yep, and other cars coming into pit, so any little bit we get right now probably going to be helpful. Hughes up to 13th. Pankowitz 16th. So let's see, that was Katzberg that came out in between us. Right now Hughes trying to keep ahead of Tarquini. And struggling to do it even while pushing, so I think we're probably going to lose that spot. We can lose that one though, we just can't lose the next one with Katzberg. The fuel looking a little bit closer to even now. I don't think it's quite going to be even, but here we go. Up to 10th, briefly. Pankowitz 14th and not driving very well, unfortunately. Alright, now we got to go neutral, and we pretty much got to stay there until the tires cool off. Going to need to drop them all the way down in order to get through the rest of this race. Hughes currently 10th, trying to fight off Tarquini and Katzberg and Martin. And then Nagy is still going to come in. So I think Hughes is probably not going to be able to finish in the top 10, although it's going to be close. Here we go. And Hughes up to 9th. Pankowitz still 13th. Nagy dropped below. And Hughes is really driving well right now, which is saving him for the moment to an extent. But there goes Martin. Martin is simply on faster tires, among other things. Tenth and 13th, so we appear to be defining the middle of the pack finish at the moment. And KC Motor Group not doing nearly as well as they were earlier. That's not a shock. So right now, they would gain a lot but still be well behind us. Hughes would stay in 15th and Pankowitz would drop behind Georgi. That would be more of what I was predicting to happen. Pankowitz slipping now to 15th. Boy, and those tires dropping so fast, I actually think we've got time to do one more push run. So why not? Whoa. Yeah, that was Martin that just went wide, and Hughes is going to be the beneficiary of that. Okay, now we're going to drop back to neutral. Pankowitz's form coming up. Hughes is looking remarkable. He's just driving amazing at the moment. And he's in 9th. There's a pretty decent gap on Tarquini. He could finish there. That would keep him in 15th. It still wouldn't catch Berman. He'd have to get a couple more spots. Now he is up to perfect. Going into the last 7 laps of the year. Surprising nobody, he sets his personal best lap. Pankowitz, meanwhile, 15th. A few more laps left to make a decision on the fuel. It doesn't look like we're going to quite get enough back. And that's where Hughes, who has a virtual caravan behind him, could really get in trouble. We'll see. Maybe he can put a little distance between himself. You know what? I'm going to start doing it now, and then I'm going to pop it back up if it gets less than a second. Which it looks like it's about to do. Yep. Okay. Go back up. That didn't get him a lot. Got him a little bit. And Pankowitz narrowly hanging on to 15th. I don't want to do anything with her at the moment. So Hughes now trying to hold off Berman. See if we can wear out those super soft tires of his. We don't really have the tires to push here, and nope, there it goes. 5 laps to go. Pankowitz is holding off Philippi pretty well at the moment. Four laps to go, and it looks like Hughes is about to... You know what? Let's go push here, see if we can't do anything about this. Okay, that pulled it away. But we're still going to have to drop... I'm going to slow this down now. We're still going to have to drop the speed here soon. And yeah, we're going to run out of tire. There just isn't anything left to manipulate. Pankowitz drops back. Done really well. I mean, Hughes is only just over 20 seconds off the lead. That's much closer than we normally are. 24 for Pankowitz. Of course, this is a race or track that tends to be close, but we're going to go low. We got to get some of this fuel back. Pankowitz looking slightly better than is Hughes there, but both of them struggling a bit. I'm just going to go push for just a hair more. I think I want to get down. I'll try it at 0.04. That might be close enough. And back to neutral. Medium neutral. Okay. This is where we have to try to hold it, and you can just see behind Hughes there's Martin, there's Katzberg, there's Tarquini. And we are going to run out of fuel, like just short of the finish line. Yeah, 0.04. Gonna have to wait and see what happens on this last lap. Now down to 0.03. See if we have anything left to push with. The 11%. Yeah. Pankowitz can afford to push. What about Hughes? I don't think he can quite yet. Let's go low for just a bit. See if she can hang on to that spot. Go back up to medium. Go back up to medium now. I was just a little bit late. But I could very well lost the spot at the end anyway, and she's about to lose another one. Meanwhile, Hughes has a bit of a gap here. We're going to go low, at least for a bit. Stick with medium on the straightaway. Yeah, and we've got to push because of tire temp. So this is the time to go pushing low. There we go. Now go back up to medium. And try to finish it off. He might hang on to 10th. Pankowitz 17th. Did manage to hold off Hamola there. See a lot of other cars really in trouble, and now who's that alongside? That's Martin. And boy, not quite going to do it. Would have been nice to have that top 10 finish. You can see there's nothing to use here. Go ahead and push just because of the tires being so low in temp. '11th and 17th, really bracketing the middle of the pack. But it's better than we qualified. Bit of a qualifying tough choice, but still blunder. And, you know, middle of the pack for a team that's finishing 10th overall, you can't really complain about it too much. And DuPont comes away with the win. Close race over Panis and Decker. Georgi did very well to finish 4th. Okay, we've got Panis on the pole, +2 for Decker with the fastest lap. And Katzberg demoted, Nagy demoted, Shedden demoted. That does give Pankowitz up to 16th. Other than that, doesn't help us at all. The drivers who were cheating were drivers who needed to cheat to compete, because they were towards the bottom of the field anyway. Hughes finishes 15th. Pankowitz does drop a spot to 17th. So 15th and 17th out of 24 drivers. A little below average. And we get no points, but we hold in 10th. Dennis DuPont blew them all away. He was silky smooth. And they're happy with being sent a bag of goodies, not with us accomplishing anything. We ranked 9th overall in the race. Marketability just takes a bit of a hit. Both drivers seeing small improvements. And a 4.8 for Pankowitz, her second 4.8 in a row. And again, it puts that other Sydney race down there at the bottom, even though we're not going to have that one. Not sure why it does that on the final race. Did the same thing last year. A 7.1. You can see he was really strong in those first 5 races. but it's only his second 7-pointer in the second half of the year. So got to be happy with that. 11th overall, roughly average finish for Hughes on the season. And you can see his overall moving up. Like, it's not there yet, but he's going to be a 3-star driver before too much longer. And we didn't get the bonus for the qualifying, so a little bit less profit in this one. The Drivers' Championship won by Simona De Silvestro. 4 times was in the winner's circle, most of them early in the year. 7 podiums. Consistent, good. Faded towards the end of the year, which is interesting, but still did quite well. And Sport Team App surprising nobody as world champions of the WTCR. Okay, and we'll proceed a little bit further to all of the end of the year stuff here, I think. But look at where our car sits now. 7th overall. Very nice. And the usual 12 hours. Eurosport. Which one of your drivers is better? Well, you know what? Once again, I'm not answering that. And our marketability is going to take a hit. I could pick one of them and tank the morale of the other one. I mean, maybe, like, from a game point of view, that probably would be the right thing. But I don't want to divide them, you know. I just don't want to be the cause of division. So I'm just going to accept those marketability penalties, and things may be a little more difficult. Fine. There are parts of the game that are unfairly easy for the player as well. 2 pit stops last race, 6.4 seconds. We've got contracts going. Scouting report for Laurandi. Burns less fuel than usual and is pretty good at marketability. Feedback is bad, but overall pretty good on everything else. A reserve driver for Comtoyu. Interesting. So we'll take another look at our pit crew. And no to these 3, but 13 on the front jack, I think we want that. Current backup is 12, which is Harami. Yeah, I think we're going to go with that. 95, absolutely. So that's going to be an upgrade. Our last one of the year. We now have 2 13s on that jack position, along with Salazar. And Pons will actually, with that increased stamina, be the favored one. And Harami has made a mistake this year. Last one for us, because they're going away. Yeah, this is all we're waiting for here. And there's car repair. Improving the parts, and this one is not going to get there. All right. So now that is the end of the 2017 season. Have to take a look at our prize money. All of the end of the season stuff is going to be coming up next. We did slip down a little bit. Okay, it was finished in 8th. We have the 4th best engine, about halfway between average and the top. Our brakes are maybe 35%, 40% of the way up. They're 11th. They're not last. Zengo was worse, but that's it. So brakes still very much an opportunity. Suspension's number 1. Spoilers are 6th, even though they're closer to the best than the engine is at 4th. So there's a lot of teams with good spoilers. You can see how much higher that arrow is than the other ones. Good progress overall. Our HQ falls to 10th, as others made improvements late in the year. So all of that will influence our decisions for the off-season. Until we get to that, thanks for watching, everybody. Motorsport Manager will return as we prepare for the 3rd year.